Get it going.
Is this going right on YouTube?
Get it going. Oh, big time.
No pressure there.
Get it going. Be funny.
So hello, welcome back. Thank you very much for coming. Thanks to Baz and Yuks for having this wonderful party. We've been here before. For those of you who don't know, Barra did a speech at my wedding. Did a wonderful job. And so, I was very honoured when he came over to the house and was like, would you do the speech for me? And I was like, yeah, it's an honour. Appreciate it, man. But most of all, I thought to myself, this is a great opportunity for revenge. So I was like, right, we'll throw out, we'll throw out the opportunity to all his adoring public and see what stories come back. I was like, we'll really throw him under the bus, and I was like, no, I won't. I'll just get up and speak about his character. And, I'll just do the right thing. Which is a shame, because your mother was right up the front with the first story. And she was pushing hard, and it was, the story, and it was like, Barra was 4 years of age, and he wandered off from home, and, a couple of hours went by, and they didn't know where he went, and they finally found him, what was it, eating in bins? And so those of you who know Barra, how he has a hoarding problem with food. I think we can call Dr. Finkelstein and tell him we got to the bottom of that issue. Someone else was in touch. Kieran was saying, my friend Kieran, our friend Kieran, lives in America, couldn't be here. Well, he definitely wanted to have a little input, and he was like, my favourite Barra story of all time. I was walking along, and there I was walking along, in Terranure. I saw Barra come along, leaning out the passenger window of a car.
My car.
Leaning out the passenger window of a car. And he waved at me, and I was like, oh, that's really nice. And I waved back, and Barra had a crook lock. Not like a big bicycle lock. Kieran wanted to have children, man. 40 miles an hour, you hit it in the You thought it was for those of you who don't know me, my name is Terry. I was once referred affectionately, I believe, by Barra's father as the other clown. that was after a particularly good trip to Manchester. And Barra's a traveller, he's absolutely, he's a great guider. Put us on a train to Huddersfield when we were supposed to go into the airport. So we missed the plane, went back into town, going back into our hotel, got in the car, we were in a taxi going out to Bury, sideswiped. I can still remember Barra going across the taxi, headbutting on the other side of the black cab. His golden locks. It is trailing as he headbutted the back of the taxi. That was a lot of physical therapy after that one. It was a good weekend. But Barra used to have hair.
Straight to the point.
Unlike me, it didn't just leave, it emigrated. Down to his face. And me and Barra's facial hair have had quite a run in the past. I've been trying to get rid of this since 2006. And our most recent effort was in Madrid. We tracked him down into a cave with good intelligence to where he was going to be. We had our precision instruments. We had a nose trimmer and a lighter. There's no way that this could go wrong at all. Myself and Rossa were like, right, there's not, like, last night it was stag, we're going to get him, those whiskers are gone. But, you know, Bar always tells me about this book he reads to have a great relationship with Yuks. It's called, what was it, The Art of War. And he outmaneuvered us. You know, with that old manoeuvre of not drinking on his last night as a stag and going home to bed early, where he put bottles of water and a bin beside the door so he'd hear the two ninjas as we came in, giggling children as we ran. So, as I said, I'm not going to tell any stories about Barra. I was just here to talk about his great character. When I sat down and think about this a while ago, I was like, no, there's probably three things that that really stand out for me about Bar. And you know, one of them is he knows everything. You know, like everything. I wing it, like, you know, I know a few things here and there, and I just make up the rest. He really knows, like, you know, mating habits of seals in the South Pacific, you know, ball bearings on Panzer tanks, or the history of Mexican midget wrestling. He knows in detail why these things happen.
Boring detail.
It makes him a really interesting guy, you know? So I really appreciate that. It's always useful. But the other thing, you know, one of the main things that I really appreciate about him is, you know, even when we were kids, the energy and positivity. It's an underestimated thing that a lot of people don't have, but they underestimate, you know, as a value in a person. Like I can remember, you know, I've known Bar for 20 years, and you know, coming into my parents' house, and he would just light up the room. You know what I mean? He'd run in, and I'm sure many of you have experienced this, you know, be it at a dinner or whatever it is, the energy, he's just a great person. And like my parents but you know, I still remember my parents just like, they would see him run into the house and you just get this huge buzz. It would be brilliant. And it's something, again, that I value massively in a friend. And then the last thing I thought of, I was like, this is really important to me, is he's always been a great sounding board for my stupid ideas. And I love to do stupid shit. You know, but then he's also been a great supporter. So, you know, and it's like, but you know, so like you know, I'd go up to him, like, you know, I was thinking about, you know, like renting some jeeps in Portugal and going to shoot water buffalo or something, you know. And he'd look at me and his eyebrows, he goes, you know? And I'm like, don't be ridiculous, dude. There's no water buffalo in Portugal. You know, but then the opposite's also true. Like, you know, we were planning his stag do in Madrid, and I was like, he's never going to go for this, but I'll just ask him, you know. I was like, right, well, I reckon, you know, we should do 2 days of parties and then, you know, go out until 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and then let's go fight bulls. And he was like, yeah, it sounds brilliant, I'll wear a red t-shirt. He was like, can we get free beer at the bullfight? And I was like, yeah, there's no reason we can't. So it was on one such occasion that I went around to him. We were probably 17 or 18, and we went around to his house, and I was like, man, what are we doing for the summer? And he's like, oh, I don't know. And I was like, well, I've had an idea. And he's like, all right, go on. I was like, well, my uncle works in Canada. You know, he's got a hotel. I was like, will we go over there? He's like, Canada? Canada, like, you know? And I was like, no, hear me out, hold on. It's like, it's only 19 to drink in Canada. I was like, we can have a dog whip up a few fake IDs and we'd be great. 21 is a stretch. He's like, that seems like a good idea. So off we went, you know, it's the start of June. Showed up in our leather jackets into Toronto. It was about 150 degrees, but we had to look good. And we started working, you know, Bar was working in landscape and I was in the bus boy or something in the restaurant. And he goes, you know, we were like, just a pain in the arse. We kept falling asleep on the buses coming home. We're like, well, what can we do about it? We'll buy a car. How much money do we have? Well, we bet £1,000. Alright, we'll spend 500 quid in a car. So anyway, so we get in this bus, and we look through the Sunday papers and we find Paradiso car sales. And so for anybody who's ever been to America, you know, they have these massive, massive roads. Like, you know, it's not like Dublin, you got Exchequer Street, it's like, you know, Meach and Exchequer there. This is like the same size as the M50. And so we get this bus out to this thing, and we start walking. I mean, 2 hours later, Lawrence of Arabia and his camels rolling up the street, you know? And you know that phrase, they saw us coming? And it's like, alright, how much do you have? 500 quid. What you should say? Right, you want it? We're like, well, we're not walking home, so yeah, we'll have it. So he's like, do you have insurance? We're like, no. It's like, do you have, you know, do you tax thing? Ah, we'll get it tomorrow. He's like, do you have driver's license? Like, yeah, dog made them for us. International driver's license. He's like, ah, screw it, here, have the car. So we get this car anyway, we start driving out back to work. Myself and Bar have always been a bit competitive with the old cars, and you know, nothing bad, like, but you know, it's like, I can go a bit faster. And so we get this car up to like 71 miles an hour. It's like, I mean, the thing is shaking. This is a couple of weeks in. And I remember this one morning, we went to work, and we'd been out in the lash, so we'd been out having a good time the time before, and we were well late. And Barrett managed to find himself on a, you know, like a water pipe in the room, like in the hose room. And he got his coat and he put it over his head and managed to fall asleep on a water pipe. And he got caught. And so your man is after giving out to him. So we're leaving work, and he's got his angry head on. And he said, oh, and I can see him like, oh, here we go, you know. So he gives the keys. I'm going, oh, Jesus, right. So we get in this car, get down this ramp, and he gets the thing, and he's like, you know, the car's shaking. And I see him looking at me, he's like, 72. A couple of days later, I get a phone call. I'm like, what's up, man? He's like, I blew up the car. I'm like, where are you? He's like, come on out, we're in the thing. So your man, his boss, had met us there. And he's like, did you notice something wrong with the car? And we're like, well, you know, it started to, a bit of a rattle. He's like, a bit of a rattle. And we're like, yeah, well, it's like the whole thing was shaking. He's like, no, the whole thing was shaking. He's like, did it get worse? Did you do anything about it? He's like, no, but it did get worse. He's like, lads, there wasn't a lick of oil in that bloody car. And I'll tell you what, for someone who knows a lot about panzer tanks and ball bearings, you should have known a lot about it. But anyway, look, we learned an awful lot about cars, about not starting fights with ice hockey teams, and Jamaican cooking. But I tell you what we also did in Canada is we met some great people. And Sean is actually here from Canada today. And it was those people that introduced Baz and Yuks when they're in Australia. So they say nothing happens for a reason. So if you'd all raise your glasses and stand up. So Bar and Yuks.
Bar and Yuks.